Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to the Commissioner. Congratulations officially and on the record for your permanent appointment. 7 years, I believe, is the term, and certainly that continuity is important. You know, I find it interesting the Liberals' line of questioning. It seems like they're auditioning to be in the official opposition when it's their record that certainly, you know, their Prime Minister, twice convicted of breaching the Conflict of Interest Act, cabinet ministers, members of their party who have broken and found guilty of breaking the act, and you know, Liberals' top pollster Don Guy lobbies the government. So we're not talking about, you know, somebody who has lobbied the opposition, but you know, their top pollster, the one that's given them the information, lobbies the government for dollars. I tell you, that's certainly concerning to me. And former Liberal cabinet minister Navdeep Bains got you know, he was responsible for regulating telcos and then gets a VP position at one of the national highly regulated telcos in our country. I tell you, it is quite something to hear these Liberals equivocate on such matters. Commissioner, I do want to ask though, because something we heard pretty specifically from your predecessor, that training was certainly an issue, and you outlined a few of the efforts that you're undertaking to make sure that resources are available to MPs and others that have responsibilities under the Act. So I do want to ask though, what is the response to those training materials? And then a follow-up question to that is in the context of the availability of you and your team to be able to answer questions, to be able to speak with those who have obligations under the Act, to be able to answer those questions, to make sure that those who have obligations are able to understand exactly what those are. So first, if you want to outline a little bit more about what training opportunities you're providing, because I believe the former commissioner had said that it should be, you know, there should be a mandatory retraining course. So I want to ask you about some of those resources, but then if you could outline what is the response, and do you have, if you could provide maybe information about the number of MPs, others that are subject to the Act, reaching out to your office, so you could explain to both this committee but also Canadians who might be watching about the resources that are available to make sure that those who have obligations have the information required to make sure they don't break the rules.
Okay. Melanie, on to the first question.
Absolutely. So there's a number of different pieces of training that are available from the office. As I explained, we've just recently finished the online training for MPs, and I've requested funding to be able to produce the similar type of product under the Act in the next fiscal year. One of the other things that we've recently completed is a survey of public office holders, similar to the one that we did a couple of years ago with members of Parliament, and asking them about the types of services from the office. From that, we know that they are happy with the training that they are receiving, but they would like to see some more topic-specific training, and we will continue to work on that. Similarly, making sure that we're responsive to the needs of the public. You mentioned people coming to us for information. In the course of a year, my team responds to in excess of 3,000 queries that come in from members of the public or the media, and we respond to all of those to let them understand what our role is and how we can help them.
Could I just, you mentioned some numbers there. Do you have, you know, any information about the number of times that, you know, MPs, and I know all MPs have to do the yearly filings and whatnot, but when it comes to like queries, do you have any numbers about, you know, how often an MP or others that might have obligations under the Act reach out to your office to be able to request information, to ask about obligations, to you know, ask for that information, to again make sure that those who are subject have the information required so that they don't break the rules?
Absolutely. Our yearly average is just in excess of 3,000 requests for advice that come into that team also. Last year, it was about 15% higher than the yearly average. And I can tell you also that their questions mainly pertain to material change, general obligations, as well as post-employment, which applies under the Act but not under the Code. In that, we are able to meet our service standards. Other members of this committee were asking about our ability to meet the demand. we are able to meet our service standards when someone, a member of parliament or public office holder calls, they are responded to within 3 days.
I appreciate that. So I guess my takeaway from this certainly is that there is no excuse for anybody who has obligations under the code. They can get the information from you to make sure that they don't break the rules. It's just unfortunate sometimes that it seems that we have a government that seems to care less about being willing to follow the rules.